Hey guys, so Deltarune was just confirmed to almost be finished bug testing, and also got officially announced over the last Nintendo Direct, and then announced to come out a day earlier on other platforms due to time zone differences, while the Spamton Sweepstakes site got new links. Now there's teaser clips on Twitter and Blue Sky coming out while the release is right around the corner. Yeah, it's been a while, huh? Honestly, it's not like I didn't have thoughts about these happening since I posted my last video, the only video on my channel, about this game, but I figured everything was already going to be covered and promptly beaten to death by other channels, so I didn't really bother. I don't really want to be a channel that's just putting out videos to update random YouTube browsers about posts and newsletters that are already updates in and of themselves, so I figured I'd just wait until the actual game comes out before I do anything. That being said, I haven't been without an idea for a video, no. You see, deep in the vile catacombs of my Steam profile, I've kept a top secret note thingy that has a list of things to remember while playing the next 2 installments of Deltarune. These aren't theories or predictions or anything, just small procedures to keep in mind so one can catch more of the little details on a first playthrough to hopefully get a better experience while going in blind. Admittedly, some of these tips are a little more subjective than others, but I think you'll find at least a few good to remember. Anything else I could say after this point would just be filler, so let's dig in, baby. Number 1. Don't spoil yourself. So this one's pretty simple and is probably something most fans are already doing, assuming they've played any video game ever when the internet was a thing. As soon as the game comes out, do not check any social media, the internet, anything. No YouTube, no Twitter or Blue Sky, no Instagram, no Reddit, no Discord, no 4chan if you're into that, and even the more popular places like 9gag and Funny Junk need to be avoided. All it takes is for that one thumbnail neatly displaying every single interesting thing in the game like the exhibitionists they are to completely spoil everything. So, when June 4th rolls around, gently peel yourselves away from your YouTube short spiraling and don't come back until you finish the whole game and experienced as much as you'd like by yourself. Now honestly, this may be easier for some more than others, so if you're really having trouble avoiding the internet, just mute a few Discord servers and perpetually click not interested for any Deltarune related videos you get in your YouTube recommendations leading up to the release, and you'll probably be fine. Unless you're vicariously playing the chapter through a streamer, in which case ignore all this. I don't think avoiding the internet's gonna help then. Also, keep in mind New Zealand and Australia will technically have access to the game a few hours earlier through the Switch 2 version, so be mindful of that. Number 2. The check option. So the funny thing about this one is that at the time of me writing the script, a video was released on Twitter Sky of what is presumably a Chapter 4 enemy, and in the battle UI there's gray text literally describing this option as useless analysis. So now I look stupid having this point here, but I swear it's important. Checking an enemy gives valuable flavor text that's fun to read, and if that sounds dumb, then I don't know what you're doing playing Deltarune if you're not looking to read in a video game. On top of that, there's been a few times where checking has actually given useful hints on how to handle a battle, like, well, twice exactly, but still, it's happened a few times. Once with King in Chapter 1, where you learn that he can't be spared, and again with the Spamton fight in Chapter 2, where you're told exactly how to spare him. While King's fight doesn't really have any consequences, plenty of people on their first time missed Spamton's check dialogue and got scrubbed of some money as a result. I doubt this option will really be vital to the game, but if nothing else, checking new enemies and bosses right after being thrown into a battle really sets a nice tone, and I feel like it's something that needs to be appreciated. It's kind of like using a Pokedex or something. I think it's neat. Number 3. Don't be afraid to fight. Despite being a game with one ending where fighting enemies doesn't seem to have the big consequences that Undertale had, Deltarune still seems to reward pacifist behavior. The recruitment system introduced in Chapter 2, along with several differences in the ending sequences of both Dark Worlds, seem to be pushing players to play pacifist. That being said, there are plenty of moments where you can still fight and not only stay pacifist, but make the pacifist route easier. Fighting King, for example, makes the battle go by just a little faster, and fighting Queen to take down her shield is much more efficient than the act options. So although the judgment may be hard to make when a battle will let you fight without spilling the enemy's guts by accident, fighting is pretty likely to not be useless in a pacifist run and may actually be helpful during future boss battles. Number 4. Check the fools in your inventory. In Chapter 2, an interesting mechanic was introduced where Lancer and Rule's Card would be able to join you on your adventures by transforming into an item and promptly crawling inside of you to live in the key item section of your inventory. This allowed them to show up in Chapter 2 and will likely do the same in Chapter 3 and onwards. One cool thing to note though is that as you go through the Dark World, you can actually check back to the key items menu to get some more dialogue from Lancer about whatever just happened. This is of course minor stuff, but it might be fun to check every now and then. And the fact that the developers would put in the effort to add text that most nobody is going to organically come across feels like a good reason to go out of your way to see. Number 5, explore any spare options as well as equipable and usable item combinations on characters for flavor text. Yeah, this one could have been cut down. So basically when you give an item to a party member, they'll say something. Very cool, I bet we can agree. Furthermore, some of the spare options for enemies in Chapter 2 seem to provide some interesting characterization, such as the pop-ups that give you some unique text for whatever character you may click on them. Through this action, you can see some more evidence that Chris is up to some occult silliness, which was said by a few other NPCs here and there, I think just one, and that Noelle is into creepy video game glitches and hot female Santas. Yeah, she kind of seemed like a freak anyways, which took a whole year to really be brought up in the Spampton sweepstakes. The glitch part, not the Santa thing. There could be some hints to plot points or details hidden in this dialogue that may come up again, and like Lancer's quips in the key items menu, I think there's something special to experiencing these options on your own before they become widespread theory fuel for fans. Number 6. Hoard items for crafting mechanic. Chapter 2's crafting mechanic, introduced by the rehomed Smith Malleus, allowed for exciting combinations of old items into powerful new ones, and was a pain in the ass for anyone who sold these ingredients to shopkeepers or neglected to pick them up. I mean, not really. The game is easy to play through and the items aren't that hard to find, but just to be safe for the following chapters of the game, hoard literally every item you can find and keep the old stuff. Don't sell old weapons or armor, nab one of everything from shopkeepers, and check whenever you can for new items that can be crafted. And Chapter 3 is most likely going to start off in the next Dark World without reaching Castletown, but at some point you'll be able to access Castletown before Chapter 4's Dark World. At that point, make sure to check the bakery for any new items and the ingredients they'll need. And be sure to thank me as well for remembering the ingredients to the TV stained glass wandering spirits of the dead salad or whatever. Okay, that's all. By the time this video's out, you'll probably be able to purchase the game in like an hour, so go do that. Thanks for watching and have a vile Deltarune filled summer, baby.